Okay, go live.
Yeah.
And ready?
Yeah.
Steady. Action.
Oh,
Hello.
I'm a bit to the...
Oh, you're a bit to the... Do you want to come closer this way?
Yeah, let me come closer that way.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Just doing some last minute renovating here.
Last adjustments to get the angles correct.
Yep.
You know what?
Angleize.
Can I keep it like this? Because I feel like I'm a singer-songwriter.
You can be like a rock star.
Like a rock star. Welcome, everybody, to the state of the...
Beanstalk.
Yeah, boy.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. There we go.
Cheers.
Welcome. We have some amazing topics for you today. And it is Friday, of all days. One of the happiest days.
I know, thank God.
Especially if you work 9 to 5. It's a happy day. Happy
And
time.
if you're in the United States, it's not quite Friday yet, so sorry to be you.
Wait, does that mean the stock market is still open for today?
Yes.
I might drop some money on Coinbase.
Yeah, let's drop some money.
Because Doge coin is going up in value. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, oh my God, it rocketed to the moon.
Yeah. But more importantly,
More important.
Casper, how was your week?
Oh man, it was so draining. I'm actually kind of mentally drained today.
Like a drain pipe at a fret house?
Absolutely. Yeah, like a Scottish bagpipe that's been blown a lot. I feel drained.
If only.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've been thinking a lot about this, where the world is going with crypto, and the arguments on both sides, and the .com bubble. How people keep making it a comparison to that.
Yes, let's discuss that because I've got a ABC article.
I would love to see it.
That says why I will never buy Bitcoin.
Wow.
Which is crazy because it just seems crazy. But anyway, we'll talk about it. Maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
Maybe he has an absolute point.
Who knows?
The man is called Patrick, the writer.
Is it you? You just wrote in, didn't you? Patrick's got his own agenda.
G'day, Michael Fitzgerald. Howdy to you too, sir. And then what else we got, Casper? Tell me. Tell me what else.
We have many hot topics for you guys today. We got Mr. Jim Ryan, the PlayStation boss himself, talking about a specific narrative for the PlayStation. Ooh, indeed.
And I don't mean to skip over your heartfelt thoughts about your week. I just thought the topics would be more interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No. Screw my week. We got good stuff here.
What else?
We got another big CEO dude, aka Bezos, Amazon chief man.
Please tell me it's got to do something with treating people like robots. Absolutely,
yes. Treating people like robots. I love the title. It's like, workers aren't treated like robots. Unveils robotic plan to keep them working. Like, what? Yeah.
Is it Kim Lyons wrote that at The Verge? And,
yes.
That man or lady, I actually don't know, should get a raise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great headline.
So we'll talk about that.
I don't know if we should talk about this. I just thought it was funny. There's a guy that created the whitest white paint.
Why isn't the White House funding this?
I know. They'll be like, we're the whitest White House out there.
Well, actually, funny you say white because there's a really black paint that's like the darkest paint you can. Light doesn't reflect off it, so it makes it really dark.
Wow.
Yeah,
like
really
99.99%.
I guess it makes sense that they'll be the whitest of white. G'day,
white.
Hammy.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Michael. Did you manage to fix your beeping issues on the other set? No.
No. We went through the whole stream with a beep in the background.
And we apologize. You guys were the MVPs. Whoever stayed on to listen to that.
Absolutely.
We
Legends.
are very sorry. I will try and fix it.
Oh yeah.
Over this weekend.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of filming
test
to do.
It out.
Yeah, my wife is away for 3 days, and so I have the whole house to myself to film.
Party time.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
If you call a party just me sitting in front of a computer and like editing video.
Party of one.
Party of one, that's
nice.
it. Yeah, let's go. Keep going.
NVIDIA. More sad news from NVIDIA, guys. We'll fill you in with that shortly.
Sad news.
Oh, and I thought I'd share this. I kind of watched some videos. I was a little bit scared.
Oh my God. I watched this literally today at work. They were talking about it. Everybody's blowing up. We're going to talk about it. Guys,
we're going to talk about this thing we didn't mention. specifically where we're going to talk about it.
But we're turning into a bit of a conspiracy channel, eh?
I know. I feel like we are. So guys, basically, we're going to be talking about UFOs. And then look at this hot, sexy thing on wheels.
We'll need to give you some more context on that.
Yeah, we'll give you more context. Don't worry. It's cleaner than you think. And then this smoky cloud that's been coming across the crypto field. Mr. Doge himself.
I think this is turning into a bit of a GameStop stock type thing.
You think so?
I think
you're probably right. You're probably right.
And I don't know if I should go online right now and buy some Dogecoin because
and then it's like next minute Dogecoin plummets.
This is dumb money. At this point, it's dumb money.
Yes.
Those 93% in one day.
Yeah.
What the actual fluffin' holy crap.
Yep, that's right. It was actually, when I looked at it this afternoon, it was 130%.
What is going on?
Yes, exactly.
Anyway.
And then some more crypto talk, specifically about that ABC article that Patrick mentioned.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll.
We hit the thing.
Intro.
Let's hit it.
Yogi Bear.
Hello, we're back.
Hello.
Smaller than ever.
G'day, Yogi Bear. Welcome, my friend. Let's talk PlayStation. Walk me through it, Casper, because I think.
Yeah, all right. So, Mr. Jim Ryan. So, there was this big article that came out about the focus for PlayStation moving forward. So, people got this big impression of the fact that the smaller indie games are being left behind, and their focus is solely going to be on blockbusters. Like, that seems to be... See, Sony's drifting away from smaller games.
Right,
that seems to be the narrative, and with this guy in charge here... they want big blockbuster games, and on top of that, they've been talking about a remake to the first The Last of Us game.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that announced, and I think that's probably the only Last of Us game that I will play. I'm willing to play.
It was a great game. I'd be interested to see how they do it, but like a lot of people say, we don't need it. We have this game that released about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago, and we've had a remastered version for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So why are we doing this? Well, because they've got the TV series coming up, and anyone that checks out the TV series might be interested in the world, and they'll find, oh, there's this game, oh, but it's a bit older, oh, chunky graphics, don't like it. So that's why they gotta align those views, right? So
Casper, you're very aligned with what they're planning on doing.
very aligned, yeah. Is it upsetting? No, it makes a lot of sense. Like, you want to be this big monster that's going to, suck up lots of profits, and you want to create the games that the mass consumers buy, essentially.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think people take a look at your indie games are not usually locked to one platform.
Yeah, that's true.
And most of the time, indie games are just little fun things people play. They might play it in odd. They're not something that, like, there's not many unicorns. There are unicorns out there.
Yeah, like a Hades.
Yeah, a Hades was a big hit. But these games aren't big sellers, and they're not usually priced at the price profits that Sony is looking for.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a cost to running all these PlayStation servers. There's a cost to the development. They want to make it back, and they need big games with a lot of money behind it, and they want a good return. So it makes absolute sense. So can you tell me more about the TV show?
Oh, The Last of Us TV show?
Yeah, is it?
I think they want to release it next year. I think that's the focus. And the two key characters that are going to star in this is that Pablo guy. Is it Pablo? The guy that was in Game of Thrones. That I don't know if I should give spoilers, because I was gonna tell him in a scene he was in. He was fighting the giant.
Yeah, I know which one.
The guy.
He's actually the Mandalorian.
Okay, actually, let's have a look at it.
He's the Mandalorian.
We're gonna look at. Yes, is he?
Yeah.
Then what about the Giancarlo Esposito? Who is he playing in?
Well, he's not the Mandalorian.
He's not the Mandalorian?
No.
Oh, okay.
So if you just open up the Mandalorian and
hold on, I'm just gonna The Last of Us cast. So there, yeah, Bella Ramsey, the lady who.
Why didn't they
Bella
just
Ramsey
get
and
Thingy
Pedro
to play
Pascal.
her? I don't get it.
What you mean?
Yes.
What's her name?
Ellen
Page.
Yeah, the Ellen Page, who's an actress, and
she's too old.
Yeah, but she doesn't look old.
She kind of looks her age now. She's like 30 something, and you need somebody who's around that teenager, because I think she's meant to be 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
okay,
in the show. So you can't have
of
like
Ellen
a 30-year-old player.
Yeah, can you get a picture of Ellen Page up too? So just
okay.
compare.
Ellen Page. There you go.
Yeah, nah, she can pull off a 13-year-old look.
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Okay, you got some. It's a very serious face.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't she like cut her hair recently or something?
I don't know. This her in a cap. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah. So The Last of Us.
Okay, go back to Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar.
So he's I saw him the first time I saw him was Game of Thrones, and then I saw him in Mandalorian.
Yes.
And then I haven't seen him since. So he's gonna be
Joel.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it. He needs a little bit more facial hair there, and he's sorted.
I don't think. Look, actually, he looks more like Joel from the original game.
Oh, the first game?
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah. Like the age is like spot on, right?
Yeah.
The age of the character.
But he's got a cool bravado. That's from what I remember, and the way he's playing the Mandalorian at the moment is brilliant.
Yeah, he does. I remember him from the Narcos.
Yes.
Narcos TV show, and I really liked him there as a character. It's really cool.
You know who he reminds me of? Especially in that picture there from Entertainment of the Year or whatever.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Elliot Page. That's right. Sam Dawson. Thanks, mate. She changed her name. She is now Elliot
Page.
Elliot Page.
Oh, so
can you put an Elliot Page? Yes. Oh, sorry. This photo there, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a young.
Matthew McConaughey.
No. Who's the guy that plays in that movie that does the thing where Taken?
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Oh, just type in Taken.
Taken.
Just before we go to Elliot.
Taken.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson,
but like a younger Liam Neeson, especially if Liam Neeson had a beard and stuff.
Yeah, like if he had facial hair, right?
He's got that sort of
facial hair,
structure. I don't think he's a beard man.
Kind of, but I mean, like Pedro's got more of like a Latin American type.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No. I just mean that sort of those eyes and nose where you're sort of looking very deep into my soul.
Oh, he has that intensity. Is that what you're saying? He has
Time
that
to Fly guessed it. Look, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
Thank you, Time to Fly. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, Elliot Page now. Let's have
Elliot Page. I mean, it's just gonna give us.
Oh, it's just. Oh, Page. I get it. It's Ellie Page, but when she puts on a cap,
it's Elliot Page.
It's Elliot Page.
So it's like Superman, where he wears the glasses.
Oh absolutely!
My God.
You can't recognize who it is. That's why I didn't know.
That's right. When we saw that picture, we were like, "Who's that?" And we're like, "Oh, yes."
But she has now gone to a he. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's still.
Yeah. Elliot Page comes out as trans.
She got the body of the she, but.
But now she wears a cap.
She's got the cap.
No, but now she came out. She's announced, and so okay. This is what confuses me. So it says Elliot Page comes out as trans, but shouldn't it be Ellie Page comes out as trans and is now Elliot Page? Maybe that's just
confusing.
A bit confusing there in regards to what's written. So
yeah,
cool, cool bananas.
Where were we going with this? Yes, Jim Ryan.
Well, no, I was still. So we have to refer to her as he now. By the way, that's the official. Well, yeah,
he.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go to the Wikipedia. Elliot Page.
Right. Okay.
Just no there. Down, left.
Left.
There you go.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. No, we have to.
Oh, there we go.
Actor and producer.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it says formally here. Canadian
formerly
actor.
Ellen Page.
He first became known
as a Canadian actor and producer. He first became known. Wow.
Yeah, so they've updated everything and it's all kosher.
That messes with me so much. Can you imagine like future children, how they're gonna really like struggle in the world? They'll be like, "Mommy, she looks like you, but we're calling like he." I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't think this is the program to get into that.
I know. It's gonna take a lot more as a parent to. You still plugged in?
Am I still plugged in? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it coming through? Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Testing.
It's
testing.
just there's gonna be a lot more education that will be required for the kids of the future.
Yeah.
Should this then be brought into schools then?
It is. It's the whole
It is
safe
already?
schools thing.
Oh, that's all right
It's
then.
a bit of a weird one, but definitely not what we should be getting in.
No,
onto
Jim
the
Ryan.
stream. Jim
Okay.
Ryan.
Yeah, this guy. Jim Ryan. He's all
Sorry,
about.
how do we refer
making
to Jim Ryan?
As PlayStation boss.
PlayStation boss.
Yes, he's PlayStation boss.
I am coming out as PlayStation boss.
I am PlayStation boss now.
Yeah, that's it.
And he has like his own, like it's a PlayStation logo, like that's his like sex symbol.
Oh right, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, how many symbols out there now?
There's like in the 20s. I
Oh,
wanna
really?
say, isn't there?
I bet you
I don't
every
know.
year they're gonna add like 10.
I don't
Because
know.
somebody's going to come out as a PlayStation boss and somebody's going to come out as a pineapple or a
Right,
starfish.
Isn't there like a Apache chopper or something? One
Yes.
of them?
Yes,
Yeah.
I read that. My
Yeah.
goodness. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm sure the courts will, they put like limitations on these things, right? Like the judge will be
'cause
like,
then that's bad.
is it?
You can't put limitations on
You
things.
can't put limitations on things.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah.
But you know what? Speaking of limitations on things, I was reading about parents who gave names to children who were like a bit out there.
Oh, like you can't name your child H. Mr.
Well,
H.
yeah. Well,
from
there was that
Germany.
one. But there was this girl in New Zealand, and she was, I don't know. She had a really long name, and then the banana hammock or something like that was in there
that's
as well.
right. Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was really bizarre, and so she herself went to the judge.
The child.
Yeah, the child went to court, and then she was like, "I'd like to have my name changed." Like, and they saw it, and they're like, "Well, this is like ridiculous. How could anyone name you like this?" And so they took the child away from the parents essentially, and like charged them with something. Yeah, it was pretty it's pretty crazy.
Mike's take says, "Is this a real stream or repeated?"
No, we're live. We're live. We could prove it.
You just keep telling them that because I'm
Yeah.
You know, Mike's
Dude,
a bot.
we're
all
deep
bots
fake.
here.
We're all bots here, guys. Even the chat. Nothing is real right now.
Nothing is real. Actually,
Apart from Jim Ryan.
we do have a story.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm waving. For some reason, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm waving.
We're alive. Yeah.
There's a story here that would make you feel like we could be inside a
The Matrix.
close enough.
Close enough?
Not anime. I was gonna say anime. We're inside an anime. Where's my intro
right.
song? Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do, do, do.
Needs to be like real dramatic and 2 minutes long. Yeah. Have like an epic build up.
And then it's like, Oh, and back to the show.
Yeah, back to the show. Yes. So look,
Thanks, Mike.
the narrative of the PlayStation stuff is, I think it makes sense. If I wanted to really make the big bucks, of which Sony looks like they're trying to, they're pushing uphill with competitors like Microsoft now, and they know it. They can feel it. They don't have the buying power like Microsoft has. And so that's why they're focusing on these blockbuster games that bring them the most amount of money.
And that is, okay, so I think we talked about this many streams ago, but it's specializing in like your niche.
Yeah.
And when you double down on your niche, you're always going to succeed more.
Absolutely.
You're always going to succeed more because this is a recording.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. This
Yeah.
is business.
This is business. Should we move away from poor old Jim?
What do you think is in the future for PlayStation versus Xbox?
Okay, so I think PlayStation will double down on less riskier titles because there was an announcement like the Days Gone was essentially Days Gone sequel was getting canned. So because that game, look, it performed all right. Like it performed pretty well with sales, reviews. It did all right. It got like a 7 or an 8 or something like that, and the fans loved it. And so I think Sony essentially said, "Oh,
7's not good enough for us."
Yeah, I think essentially maybe they just looked at the sales. They were like, the sales are good, but they're not like astronomical like all these other titles.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's true or if it's just the rumors about a Days Gone sequel not happening, but it makes sense if it is true, because they want games like an Uncharted. They want games like a Last of Us, like a Ghost of Tsushima, like a Spider-Man, which is exactly why they purchased Insomniac. Spider-Man was the test, and Insomniac passed.
Oh, okay, right, gotcha. Yeah.
Because Sony essentially were thinking about it, but that was the decision maker. They only purchased them once they saw how the sales numbers would go with Spider-Man. Right. And that was the trigger for them to pull, because you look at the studios that they own, that they cherry picked. They're all these premium, high-end quality, minimal defects. If there are any issues, they're really small at launch and they get patched very quickly.
Yeah.
Like there are no nonsense business structure. Like their ICE team is tightly knit with all these studios. They have their own representatives go out there and essentially look over their shoulders. They're like their shadows in the gaming developer studios. And if there's something that they don't like, they let them know right there and then. Like it's just what's his name? The guy who's running San Diego Studios, God of War, Santa Monica. Sorry, not San Diego. Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. Okay.
I think it's Santa Monica. Yeah. Essentially, he was talking about how he got approached by one of the representatives from Sony, and they had some sort of a title that they were working on, and the Sony representatives were just like shaking their hands. They were like, no, like we can't go through with this. They were like really disappointed, and they really felt it. They were like, oh my God, like,
wow.
Yeah, like, so your performance has to be up there. The quality has to be like premium for it to get past the testing phase.
You know, one of the services that I always imagine is going to start cropping up across the internet is curated content. So I feel like Sony is taking the first step to creating a curated experience on their PlayStation environment or their ecosystem, where when you do jump in and you buy a game that is Sony produced for the PlayStation 5, whatever it might be, your experience will always be absolutely premium. And they're obviously doubling down on that. And Xbox, on the other hand, I think I just sort of comment, Chick Mania, good day, mate. Or good day, Ethnic. We'll just have a look at this comment. Xbox has been, go down a bit.
Oh, go down a bit?
Yeah, Xbox has been buying up devs left, right, and center, giving them freedom to create small and big titles. So to me, what it seems like is that Xbox is going to become the Netflix of games, where you've got a subscription, you're paying it, you play what you want, you obviously install it, which is fine. I like that better than streaming for now. But they're going to have the problem that Netflix has, which is when Netflix started, they just started having all these studios put their content onto their platform. And now Netflix has to create their own content, which is why Microsoft is buying up big studios, because you get to a point where somebody like, whoever's putting games on goes, oh, well, I'm going to make my own launcher and my own subscription for my brand's games. So, like, the only other big one was Bethesda. Like, Bethesda had its own launcher. It had all these things. And they could potentially have a subscription for Bethesda games. Yeah. $10 a month, you get to play all Bethesda games. They have enough of a catalog of games.
They have an ecosystem that they could just run themselves, right?
So in Netflix case, you have all these companies who had movies and shows on their platform, but they pulled them out and they started their own streaming services. So I think Microsoft is preemptively going, that happened to Netflix. We're starting to look a little bit like Netflix. Let's not let that happen, and we're going to buy the studios and make them make games for our platform only. Yeah. And make them make small and large titles, as Chick Maniac said. Yeah. And one thing they're also going to fall into, which I think is a problem, but it's only a... Remember Steam?
Yes.
Steam still exists. It's going to exist for a long time. Steam is still a great service. One of the things with Steam is that you buy games and you never play them. You've got this massive library. Most people have a massive library of games they've never played and potentially never will. But you paid for them, the money sunk, and it's done. It's under your account. On the other side, you've got Netflix, right? You pay a monthly subscription, and there's hundreds and hundreds of hours of content you will never watch. You might not even be interested in it. And that's probably the same problem that Microsoft's going to face. They're going to have lots and lots of games, never going to be played. They might get removed. You might upset a few people, sure, but it's going to be this like trove of food that you want to try everything, but you never get to. So there's going to be these peak games, the peak few things that people play, and everything else will just be almost like cannon fodder. I think that's sort of my thought on that.
That's a really good point, because some of the feedback from individuals who have Game Pass, who have been trying it for the past couple of years or so, said, oh, I feel very spoiled. I have this huge catalog of games to choose from, yet I'm not really playing anything.
Yeah.
But then those same people who also own a PlayStation console, they have those certain games that they pick out. It's like, yes, this is the gem I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to try it. Your time is limited on this earth every day.
That's very
very deep. Yeah. And you just want to experience the best.
Sure.
Like, you want to experience the best. You want to experience something that sticks out to you, that really speaks to you. And this is what they're trying to do.
Something that changes your life.
Yeah, because Sony knows that the world is being saturated with games.
Yeah, that's what I mean about Microsoft's platform.
That's
it's going to get saturated.
It's going to get saturated. And one way to stand out is to have the best products that people are just going to flock to. So this is what they're attempting to do. I mean, they've already started the ball rolling with the PlayStation 4 titles. They're going to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to try to keep it going.
And one thing you guys can help is make sure to like this video. Like the live stream, because that helps us get discovered across YouTube and brings a lot more chat. And welcome, Mike. I think that's the first time you're seeing. And yes, we're in Australia. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
There was a question. Ethnic, I did see you've overclocked things and undervolted, which looks really good. Overclocking 60. Stable. I wonder if you had a comparison between what you did before, like maybe.
Oh, right,
like a 3D. What's that 3D test thing called? 3D.
I know you.
It's on Steam. I bought it on Steam ages ago, and I always do my tests on that whenever I do a
to see a comparison.
Yeah, because I do a test. Benchmarking system.
Cool.
Shall we move on to the next topic?
Next boss man.
It is techie. I'm going to call it techie because it's all about human robots.
Yeah, it's talk about people and robots. And the title just really made me laugh because it says, Bezos says Amazon workers aren't treated like robots, unveils robotic plan to keep them working.
I have to say, that man's face, all that screams to me is, I have nothing to worry about right now. I'm just here to make money.
Yeah, I also feel like looking at him there, I feel like I just wanted to sell books. This thing got out of hand.
It's like I just wanted to sell some books, and it's just I just couldn't say no.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, why don't we sell music? Just like, yeah, all right, just start selling music. Then
skip going.
It just really got out of hand.
Yeah, I know. And he's like, oh my God,
love it. So let's have a quick read. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos says in his final letter to shareholders as CEO that the e-commerce giant has to do better job for our employees. Yeah. He says that when he's leaving. Like, what? He could have done
I thought about that as well. I'm like, are you saying you did a horrible job, but they should do a better one? It's like, look, I treated them like garbage. Please do better.
Now that they've built my pyramids for me.
Yeah.
The letter comes amid ongoing reports of untenable conditions for Amazon workers, and it outlines strategy that seems odd for a company that has been accused of treating workers like robots. A robotic scheme that will develop new staffing schedules using an algorithm. So the idea is that they will start putting in shift workers into a more optimized environment, probably for them and for the hours that they choose. They may like, I want to work early mornings, so like mid-afternoons. And this is obviously to address concerns about working conditions. Bezos said the company will develop new staffing schedules that use sophisticated algorithms to rotate employees amongst jobs that use different muscle tendon groups to decrease repetitive motion and help protect employees from MSD risks.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Out throughout 2021.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder, repetitive strain injuries I know they're a big thing.
Yeah, huge.
But I think they're really big in areas like this where you kind of do...
It's like a postal service. You're doing lots of these tasks, which makes me sad to think that people are going to be replaced by robots that are going to do that eventually. Yeah.
But, okay. We have to go on a rant on this. I have to go on a bit of a rant. When people get upset that robots are replacing a job, all I see is go, great. That means that shitty job doesn't have to be done, and you as a person can look to something better.
Yeah, I agree.
Why would you, like, no offense to these people, but I get.
But what if
sometimes you can't get anything but that job.
Yeah, like let's say you're middle aged. Okay, let's say you're 40 and you've been doing this for the past 2 decades, right? And all of a sudden you get made redundant and you just feel like it's almost too late for you to pick a new career.
Okay, yeah, you've turned me around. I was going to say, there's always something you can do. Like, maybe you have to have a bit of positivity, a bit of ideas, but I feel like, and maybe I watch too much sci-fi, when the problem of food and shelter is solved with maybe something like basic income, or something like that, people can tend towards more, go work for things that are actually meaningful. Because that's not meaningful work.
You're right.
I don't think people should be satisfied with that. I think it's something like a job in between jobs. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe an extra thing.
Yeah.
Like robot. Yeah, this is the thing, right? When cars go electric, what's going to happen to all the diesel mechanics and all this? Not diesel mechanics.
Sure.
Yes, we've still got machinery in the mining things. But what's going to happen to all the mechanics?
They're going to have less work, right? Because the types of mechanics that are going to be needed are going to be different.
They're going to be electricians, and Tesla. Another problem with Tesla, which is I really hate, is their stance on people fixing products. So the right to repair is a giant movement in the tech industry. Okay. One of the biggest things that Apple does is they lock this shit down so hard that you can't go and replace things. You can't replace a piece of hardware in here because the device goes, oh, you've just replaced the camera because you cracked it. Now, I'm not going to allow you to use the camera because that's not Apple. It's not done by Apple. It's not Apple signed. It's like, dude, it's my device. If it's broken, I want to replace a part and I can source the part, I should be allowed to repair it.
You can't. You have to go to the Apple store, don't you?
Correct.
Like everything is just so streamlined. There's no options for you.
Exactly. And that's the problem with Tesla right now with electric cars. It's just like, why can't I replace, actually BMW does this worse. I'll get onto that in a second. But Tesla needs to allow the ability for mechanics to transition to this electric world and be able to repair these cars and not have to go back to a Tesla dealer. Like, you can't have that. It's going to take a lot of years, but it will happen in the end. And BMW. Some BMW cars. I hate BMW cars.
Do you? Or do you hate the drivers?
Both.
Oh, all right. Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Every single car that comes out of the factory, broken indicators. Never work.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's an issue with every single BMW manufacturing plant.
Yeah.
I think there's a glitch in them. None of the indicators work ever.
Right.
You just get in a car, they just don't seem to work. You see drivers out there, nobody's using indicators.
Yeah.
They just...
Oh. You had me there for a second. I was like, oh my God, wow, there's so many defects. Wait a minute. Yeah. Broken indicators. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah.
John Deere. Farmers who have John Deere. John Deere is a manufacturer of farming equipment. Very big, like one of the biggest. And their biggest problem is that you have to keep going back to John Deere representative to fix anything tiny. Not the smallest things. Problem is, these farmers need to pay to get this big tractor onto, a flat platform truck and then get it over thousands of miles
to John Deere.
To John Deere. So they're actually using hacked software from the Ukraine to do it themselves.
Wow.
And it's just insane. Anyway, where did we start from? If we just sort of take a jump back, we had Tesla, workers,
Bezos, robots.
Yeah, I don't like BMW cars.
Don't like them.
No.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, the reason I don't like BMW, another reason why I don't like BMWs, which is what the right to repair was, they have software built in that if you, for example, are driving your car and the oil's a bit low,
Okay.
It starts beeping, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, I'll just top it up.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think
Why?
it's oil. Maybe it's not oil. But anyway, it tells you like you need to go take it as a service person who'll plug it into the computer, reset that you've refilled the oil. Otherwise, the car will start turning features off in the car to force you to go and do that.
Wow. So it's the Apple on wheels.
Yeah, it's Apple. And Apple is making a car, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, dear Lord.
Couple of comments we've got here. Let's go up a bit. Sorry, guys. I get into a rant.
Yeah, rant time.
Bezos left Amazon. Yes, there's last few days of being a CEO. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, he still has a big, I guess, vested interest in it somehow, but he's not big boss man anymore.
No, he still owns a lot of stock, obviously. Ethnic says, funny, humans treated like robots, but will be replaced by them eventually. Yeah, of course. Mike's, he lost half of his money from his divorce and doesn't want to rebuild, so he's going to live comfortably off it. He was his mistake. Due to the divorce, it was his thing. He admitted it.
Yes,
he treated her badly. He did. I mean, he cheated on her essentially, and then he got blackmailed for it, and then he didn't. Yeah, he went public. Yeah, and that was his fault, and he actually offered her half. And I think she declined some of it.
Yeah, he gave her a lot. He wanted to give her more, and then essentially Amazon boomed really hard even further, like after the divorce. So he made all of that money back.
Yeah, like in days.
Yeah.
Yogi Bear says robot maintenance tech. Yeah, we chatted about that. Yep. Robots are fixing each other now too. Yes.
Yes.
There's a story about a lumber mill worker who did so well they got promoted to manager, then left after 3 days because all he wanted to do was the grunt work.
Yeah, look, that does happen.
I get that. I get that some people want potentially just mindless work that they can work for and then like go home and like, I don't know, do, paint or something like that. I get that because I love building stuff outside. Like when I was building my deck, it's mindless in the sense that you're just sort of doing something intricate, but you don't have to think things out. You can kind of switch off. Yeah, maybe I went, I think
maybe these kinds of jobs are going to be created in the future anyway. Or maybe certain businesses will still create that.
Honestly, niche. I think those kind of jobs are dying out. There are going to be less and less of those mindless jobs because robots can do that for us and they can automate it, and people will actually realize that, to be part of this society, I might actually use the one thing robots don't have, and that's my brain.
The brain.
And creativity is something that robots, AI just are unable to do right now. I don't think they'll ever be able to. That's what's unique about a human is the creativity, the problem solving, and forget calculations, because calculations is a tool.
You just got me thinking about something. I saw a movie recently.
Okay,
hold on. Maybe we just did with some full camera action. Hi guys. So I saw a movie recently called Her. I was late to the party, I know. But I saw it, and goddamn, I really, really like that movie. Have you seen it?
I have.
Joaquin Phoenix. So
I think I watched a half of it. And I think I started watching it, got a bit late. I was like, I'll finish this another day. And then I left it.
Yeah.
I think I didn't finish it. Did he die in the end?
There was no dying per se. I don't want to spoil it either.
Okay.
But
I think I watched it years ago, but I'm not sure.
It was just so great because essentially the premise, if you guys haven't seen it, the movie Her is about a man who purchases this like app or software for his phone, right? And it's like an assistant. And he chooses to have a female assistant on the phone, the app, and then she starts talking to him, and it's just so human-like. Right. He gets blown away how good this software is, to the point where he starts building a relationship with the software.
Wow.
It's incredible how well they get to know each other, and she's just amazing because she's like this AI.
Yeah.
She's like, she can just filter out all like thousands of his emails, and then she's like, oh, I'm just going to get rid of these, going to keep these. And then like she does all these incredible things, but at the same time, because she's evolving so quickly, she's kind of like leaving him behind, or he feels like he's being left behind.
He's not included in anything anymore.
Because she can have multiple conversations with multiple people at the same time, and it gets to this like interesting. No, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. If you want to watch it, check it out. I like it. It's a good movie. But it's got me thinking that what if AI gets to that potential? and it could really surpass us. Like it could really surpass the human interactions. And like, I mean, like even human relationships could be redundant in a way, or you'd engage in a human relationship when you want someone simpler in your life because the AI will be will just be domineering over you.
It's like, Casper, I know what your failures are in life, and here's how we're gonna fix it together.
Yeah, here's 118 faults.
I love you, honey, with all your faults. That's all I want to hear, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, you could have an AI that does that. Like you could have the perfect being for you as well.
Yeah. It reminds me actually of Blade Runner 2048.
Yes.
And how he realized that she is not special in any way towards him. She's just a construct. An AI, a relationship AI, and in the end, it's like, she's just a piece of hardware that he can get another version of.
And this is gonna sound pretty awful and bad, but don't you think human beings are kind of like that? Like we're not as special as we think we are.
Oh, absolutely not. But
yeah,
we're unique as each other.
So you're saying we're all the same?
Yeah, we're all pretty much the same. Look, it's not. I don't think it's I don't think it's a bad thing that there's slight differences in everybody, and it's a spectrum of differences, right?
Yeah.
But everybody's got a different approach to something, and I always come back to, well, some people can solve some problems, some people can't. Some people can chop down wood, and some people can't. There's these ranges of people that we can and cannot do things, and some people are unique, some people aren't. The most unique people usually tend to be the 1%. The people the people that are most different than the crowd tend to be singled out. And if those differences are positive differences, like an Elon Musk or a Einstein or a Bezos, you will notice that they will stand out in the crowd. Like they're unique in their field of whatever. Singers and songwriters, like the biggest, the one-time hits were the ones who, they're talented. They had a one-time hit or, one-hit wonder or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
But then there's people who were so different that they just blew up and continued to be blown up because there's nothing else like them. So this spectrum of you being unique is like maybe it's not even a spectrum. It's just this like.
You might want to be closer.
Maybe all these dots, right? And then there's these dots out in the warps away from this cluster of dots of everybody being the same. You've got these differences, and what makes you unique is probably what makes you stand out from the crowd. What gets you opportunities, like whatever it might be. That's sort of my view about uniqueness. There's just some people are the same, some people aren't.
Imagine eventually we create AI that can surpass us. Our existence will be meaningless.
Sorry, I'm looking at
like
they've just gone in
like zoned
direction.
out.
G'day, time to fly. G'day.
Spoiler alert! It's his mum trolling regarding the movie Her. Her is a good movie. Great movie.
Anyway, let's get to the
next topic, guys. We got so many things to talk about.
So I love how we went from Jeff Bezos' robots to the movie Her. I do like that. That's probably my favorite part of the stream. Just going from these weird notions of...
Well, it kind of that's how the human mind makes connections. And perhaps software will be able to do that as well. Or we'll do that on a more intense level. Like we made one connection to another.
Yeah.
And the software will make like 26,000 connections all to the one topic.
I think
like
what a human can, maybe a machine can do is actually when they do find those connections, but when they find those connections that are meaningful.
Yeah.
Because you can connect Jeff Bezos to a thousand different things, but some of them might not be meaningful to a human.
Yeah.
Now, I think I can discuss things with you that are meaningful to you, and hence that's why I'm mentioning. Because if I start talking about like, I don't know, like butter chicken, you might not find it meaningful, but I'm like, I'm sure Jeff Bezos ate butter chicken at one point. Like, let's talk about the way butter chicken has been made, and chicken and butter and if you go to a Chinese restaurant, or actually a Malaysian restaurant, and they say butter chicken, it's not the butter chicken that you think it is. I learned that the hard way.
What kind of butter? Is it just chicken with a bit of butter?
It's like deep fried chicken in butter, like sweet butter.
Oh, no.
Like real butter. And then I'm like, damn it, I wanted butter chicken, like red chicken.
You're talking like, Indian
mistakes
butter
were
chicken.
made.
Mistakes were made. But apart from mistakes, we have perfectionist Mr. Anish Kapoor. He has He has made the whitest white paint, guys.
So
please keep Anish Kapoor away from the whitest white paint.
Why?
So what?
Read it out for me. Tell me more.
Wait. Oh, is this guy? This guy's name is Julian Ruan, one of the researchers who made the whitest white paint, holding up a sample, right? So, they announced a white paint that was capable of reflecting 95.5% of sunlight, but they decided to outdo themselves with a new formulation announced today that reflects up to 98.1% of sunlight. So the thing about white, the color white, is that it detracts the heat, but it attracts the UV rays, whereas the color black does the complete opposite, right? So essentially, people with a darker skin color tend to be warmer out in the sun, as opposed to people with a lighter skin color.
Sounds racist to me. The sun's racist, but okay.
The sun is one big racist star in the sky. Yeah.
So it says here, by adding this product to your cart, you confirm that you're not Anish Kapoor.
Yes.
Who is Anish?
So, I think Anish Kapoor is the guy who did the big black hole in the floor. Have you seen that?
No.
Check it.
Oh, this guy. That's right.
Yeah, this guy.
Yes,
Bottomless pit.
That's why I thought the
looks like
what do you call it? The name was familiar.
So essentially, it's just like this whole thing that he created, and it looks like it's endless because of how dark it is.
Yeah, this is the paint I was talking about in the start. It was like the darkest black you could ever see.
Yeah, so this is it basically. It's like 99.9% black.
Yeah, the pit. There was a pit though,
Yeah.
but it was really dark.
I just thought I'd share this. I don't know. It's weird and funny, kind of like, wow, we made the color whiter. Congratulations.
So I mean, I'm sure the White House right now is literally buying liters and liters of this. Because imagine if you painted the White House in the whitest white. Like, how insane! Like, they just like, I'm sure they go when they go to like a paint shop. What's a paint? Wattle.
Right, the company that. The paint company.
Or British Paints.
Yeah,
Do you... Oh my God. Do you think... they would have just used American paint or something. But do you think they would have used British paints to paint the White House?
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. But
this
like,
paint is non-compliant.
And they're like, yeah, can I get white? Oh, great. What shade of white? It's like, no. White. For the White House? So it needs to be white?
The whitest white.
Like, I had to pick colors for painting my house.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
How many whites there is, right?
There's like 1,000 whites, 1,000 grays, 1,000 blacks, 1,000 of everything. And you're just like, can I just get white? It's like, no, feather white. Oh, I like feather white. But then there's like a...
Eggshell white.
Eggshell, yes, eggshell white. There's like all these whites. I'm like, last time I looked at an eggshell, it wasn't that bloody white.
Yeah.
But maybe the inside, I don't know. I don't look at eggshells that often. But it blows my mind the amount of colors that they can get. And guess what?
What?
If I go ask for the same color that I had on another wall maybe a month ago and I paint it, it's never going to look the same.
It never is it?
No.
It's like because the color just decides to change over time, fade or whatever.
The sun does things to it and whatnot. So, I mean, this white looks really white. I wonder if that's Photoshop. They like cleaned up that photo and like literally made it white.
Do you think it's whiter than the white background?
Yes. I think it's whiter than the white background, but maybe because it's surrounded by gray.
Yes, it sticks out.
Yogi says, now we picked the synthesis option. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Mike says, I've only seen it once, but loved it, so that must be the movie. Ethnic says, butter chicken's cooked in a curry as opposed to deep fried, so it's more like a casserole. Holy crap.
Holy moly.
Mind blowing. Michael says, time to boycott the sun. Yeah, boycott the sun.
Boycott the sun, guys. Yeah. Cancel the sun.
Vanta Black is the color. I think the paint. The black paint.
Yeah. Vanta Black, yeah.
Mike says, White House air conditioning's bill just got a little lower.
I think so too, right? Like this, it's like you go into the White House, like, so cool.
Yogi Bear says, they use Whisper White. They mix the color, you have to take the sample. They mix the color, you have... Oh, yeah.
They use Whisper White.
So the samples are not the same as the full color, I found.
Oh.
I went through about 12 samples before sorry, let me rephrase. My lovely wife went through 12 samples before she asked me to pick a color.
Which color do you like? And you're like, this one. She's like, wrong answer.
Yes.
That's how it works, right?
It was, no, we need to get more samples. I'm like, so not this color? No. More samples.
More samples. 144 samples later.
I think we chose, I think it was like I think it was 20 samples in total at the end. I've got a stack of these samples. It was like $60, $70 worth of samples because I think they're like $5 to like depending on the colors you put in there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah. So this one, she said, oh yeah. Do you have the receipt for that one? I was like, no. I'm like, oh, that's one of the first ones we bought. I'm like,
no.
Anyway,
full circle. Yes, technology.
Oh god.
Back to that stuff again. I know Nvidia, you're letting us down, brothers. So what they're talking about in this article is that 2021 is going to have no GPUs, guys. So we can all go home and cry in the corner. TSMC and Intel are also both warning that chip supply issues could last through 2022.
Well, it's not like we can travel to 2024 overseas anyway, so...
No, but okay, so the next year, 2022, is supposed to be the year that new GPUs are being announced. Released.
That's a problem, right?
That's a huge problem.
How? So they're going to... This is insane. They're going to start manufacturing new GPUs.
Whereas they can't even give you supply of the old ones.
Holy crap.
But you know what? It's going to get weird.
But you know what? Neither can anybody else.
Yeah.
So they could skip the next one and just keep releasing this one and be like, well, why do we need to do R&D? Why don't we just like skip this generation and like keep going? But they won't. They'll release new ones because
they'll be like, here's a new thing you can't buy. Great.
Yeah. Well, that's how the AMD launch, right, happened with the cards. It was a bloody paper launch. Again, they had like AMD. Little stock, especially in Australia. Like stock in Australia is insane. Like the people getting it mostly, obviously in America. It's still difficult to get. I'm part of a subreddit on Reddit, and I see like people's like Micro Center has 2, and then it's like gone in like seconds.
Out of stock.
So
it's just like I saw this Verge article. It's like 8 hours ago. It's like Amazon's got PlayStation 5 stock edited out of stock.
So this is the thing that's changed during this year, like last 12 to 18 months, is that news articles are popping up when things are in stock. They're getting clicks and attention by telling you when a product is in stock.
I know, it's crazy,
it's
right?
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
That's never happened before. Like
next up, Coles is like, we've got eggs. Oh, sorry, we're out.
Is that eggshell white? Or
I'm only after the this type of white. Yeah.
Well, there's what was the thing? Like, I spoke to somebody. Actually, I went to a dinner party, and they were telling me about. And I didn't obviously fact check this, but gin is made out of tomatoes, canned tomatoes.
Guys, is gin made out of canned tomatoes?
Can anybody confirm this for me? Anyway, and I just made the joke. I don't think anybody got it. I was like, that would have been hard during the pandemic because, Coles had a limit of 2 cans per person. How would they start making gin if you could only get 2 cans of tomato?
Yeah, and all the pasta sauce disappeared and all the cans.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah. It's weird. It's like pasta sauce and pasta and chicken all disappeared, and toilet paper, obviously, during the pandemic. But like, there's all this other stuff that just like remained, which was really weird.
Yeah. What was funny? My wife got a recipe. We were gonna make spaghetti.
Yeah.
Spaghetti? No, I think it was like pasta bake or something like that.
Yeah.
And it said, I think there was a limit of 1. This was at a point where it was low, but the recipe said 2. Okay. And it was connected to like the Coles and Woolworths app where you could be like, oh, you can buy this and da-da-da. So 2 of those. And we go in and we had them in our bag and we go through the check and the lady's like, oh, I'm really sorry. You can only have 1. And she's like, yeah, but the recipe says 2.
But the recipe says 2.
And she's like, I'm really sorry. Like, I can't do anything. We're like, yeah, whatever. So I put it back and then Cass went around and again went through the checkout and got that 1 just to...
What if you guys went separately? Is it one
that's what
per
we did.
person?
Yeah, she just went back in and got... Yeah, it was 1 per person. And we're just like, yeah, I get it. They were trying to stop...
Sure, yeah. I mean, they're doing the right thing by making sure everybody gets something right. Yeah.
But those 2 cans of pasta bake made meal for like 3 or 4 days for us. So,
Yeah. Fed the family.
It fed the family.
Anyway,
nice. I found it really funny that there was so much of these limitations on products, and then they still went out of stock. And it's like, what? Anyway, I expect a lot of people to right now be eating a lot of bread, pasta, and toilet paper.
Yes, toilet paper, and not having any GPUs.
Yeah. Actually, I want to get back to the GPU discussion because I think it's really really important.
The shortage.
Well,
shortage.
The shortage is creating a lot of problems. So first of all, you've got miners. Yep. And as I've been doing a bit more digging into that world, and I've been doing a bit more digging in just mining and generally like the world of graphics card and things like that. I'm actually starting to think miners are not what's causing this.
Yeah,
I'm pretty much about 70 to 80% confident it's not miners.
Yeah, miners are just they're a small percentage. Scalpers are another percentage.
Correct.
The fact that the world is broadening in terms of how tech is infiltrating other aspects of the world, that's another percentage. So essentially, you've got the Tesla cars, you've got just cars in general being more and more electric. So actual copper in itself is going up and up and up in price. Semiconductors up and up and up in price. Then you have the pandemic, which people are just buying things because they're inside. So it's it's like an accumulation of all these things. Perfect storm. A perfect storm for a supply-demand disaster.
And one thing I actually realized, and I'm not sure if you guys feel like that, but the pandemic has exposed a lot of people to technology they've never been exposed to. Like imagine all the 30, 40-year-old workers, 20-year-old workers who all of a sudden had to go home and like figure out how to use a webcam and a microphone.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, and I'm sort of always generalizing to America, they probably would have never used anything like that because they would have gone into the office and be like, have a little cup of Joe and just chilling out with all them friends and I just
got my whiskey and cigar. Yeah. It's like, where are we working in the 1930s? Yeah.
So I feel like once people started using this technology, they were exposed to a lot of this other tech, and I kind of believe they started purchasing things more comfortably, knowing that they'll be able to use it, and they lost the fear of like, oh, is that going to work? Oh, no, I have that cable that fits into this and all. Yeah, I'm going to buy that new camera that has the chip and the... Like, I feel like the pandemic has just opened a lot of doors to people with technology because of the requirement to be away from people but still use technology. Like, iPads, when, sales went through the roof.
Yep.
Webcams, microphones, keyboards, monitor, everything just skyrocketed. People had to buy computers for the home. They might have had to set it up. They probably had to set it up themselves because they couldn't get, IT support from the company to help them. There was all this thing around internet and all this interest. And I think generally speaking, people there was this massive jump towards computer education that opened they started seeing these coins and they go, oh, what's this coin? Oh, it's online payment. They start seeing these. We'll probably jump onto Doge.
Get onto Doge.
But I think this whole pandemic opened a lot of people's eyes and
confirmation from Yogi Bear. There is a distillery that makes gin from tomatoes.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much. Juniper berries. Gin is normally juniper berries. Wow.
Ooh.
I'd love to know what that is. Yeah. I will educate myself on that because I wouldn't mind making it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk crypto.
Let's talk crypto dollarinos, people. Cash monies. That is not real.
No.
Yes.
So you had some thoughts about this article. Do you want to share this article in chat, please? Can you just copy the thing?
Just copy the link.
Guys, I know you guys are pretty well educated. I can see in the comments you guys aren't stupid, but just
geniuses.
Can you let me know what you think about this in the comments below? Because I think my mind just went...
Let's talk crypto dollars, the future, or maybe. So, this article basically says, when I think about Bitcoin, the best known cryptocurrency right now, I think of a quote from Warren Buffett. So, Warren Buffett, as you guys probably know, one of the most successful investors in the world. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. The Oracle of Ohama wrote in a letter to his Berkshire Hathaway shareholders in 2008. And it makes a lot of sense. This is how he ended up making his money. He bought companies that he researched heavily and he saw potential in them. He saw that they were undervalued, they were underutilized. He purchased the shares to the point where he was the main shareholder. Then he would assist in making certain decisions, and then he would sell off that company essentially for a insane profit, and then he would just keep doing that loop over and over and over again, and it's worked for him not every single time, but most of the time.
Sure.
Yeah, which is why he has a net worth of over $80 billion. And so it continues to talk about the quote highlights a couple of important points about investing, right? So price of an investment doesn't necessarily reflect its value. The lower the price you pay, the better your results. Sure, yep. Then it goes on to say that Bitcoin is not a productive asset.
That's
right?
Alarm bell for me, number one.
Okay. Talk to me, Patrick. Why is Bitcoin a productive asset? You see it as a productive asset?
I see it as a productive
asset? Tell
asset.
me why. Talk to me.
It's a way to move value across a digital sphere to a wide range of people, giving them control of that valued asset, which is a Bitcoin, without involving third parties who would potentially get a cut. You could lose it too. So, like let's say a bank. Not that banks fall apart often, but they do. And the productivity of it is the transfer of value, but the value is obviously perceived differently than currency that is backed by a government. The value is perceived by all the people involved in the productivity of it, of transferring it.
That's interesting. Like, the way I understand this statement is that, like, Bitcoin may not produce anything, right?
Correct.
It's kind of like, it is the digital gold. We can agree on that,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's the value is set upon by the people that use it, by people that see value in it. But I guess when you compare it with an investment, so let's say you're invested in like Tesla, right?
Yeah.
So Tesla is producing vehicles, is producing an alternative mode of, alternative mode of transport, in the sense that, it's not a petrol car.
Yeah, sure.
It's an advanced way of transporting people. And then you've got the artificial intelligence, the self-driving in it. So it has all these elements that go into it.
Yeah.
But I guess the investment or the stock in itself is also this productive asset in layers, in the sense that you're contributing to society in the physical realm. There is something that's being generated, and you as an investor, you're getting not only paid with the increase of the stock, but also in dividends. So you'll get paid out.
Sure.
Essentially on a regular basis, right?
Yeah, if that stock gives you dividend.
Sure, yeah, if that stock, not every stock does. So, like, can Bitcoin do something like that for us? Or maybe if not Bitcoin, a future crypto that can somehow play that role?
Well, I mean, if you look at dividends, Bitcoin goes up in value, and because it's a scarce commodity, the more people are involved, the more value it goes. So you could say that it's technically paying back dividends on the money you've put in at any point in time. Yeah, it's volatile. That's what happens when something starts. And think of, when a company goes onto an IPO, the first, was it 13 days, I think it is? Did you say? I think it was 13 days is where you shouldn't, unless you're getting on like the first second, it's
the first like fortnight, the
first moment, then it's not worthwhile. You have to wait at least 13 days, because that's when the volatility ends on a IPO, generally speaking. That seems to be the way. So to me, Bitcoin is in that 13 days, but you take those days and you multiply it by decades. I think it's in the first 30 years of its volatility until it starts to become a traded balanced stock that doesn't move as much, because it's so early. This stuff, the adoption rate of this is just skyrocketing now, but it's exponential. Like, think about it. It's like a virus, right? You get one person infected, they can infect 2 people.
Sure.
Yeah. And in the first 1,000 days, it's not a big number, but as more people get on it, the more people and so on. So it's just exponential. And I think we're at this real, this cusp of Bitcoin right now. And like I said, with the technology, people being more involved, they see this stuff on the internet and so on. And there's also the other side of it is people have a lot of spare coin at the moment because they can't travel. Travel is a huge industry that isn't being utilized at the moment. So they want to throw money into things like investments and and stuff like that. But
and this is another reason why it's adding to the success of Bitcoin
Correct.
value, because people are looking at alternatives, and obviously they found the world of crypto. They've put a lot of money into it. Crypto is getting a lot of headlines, which is also improving its run up high. There is this comparison. of cryptocurrency with the .com boom.
Yeah.
And the bubble that eventually burst. And I've been thinking about it a lot because we know that the internet has revolutionized our world, our life as we know it. It's improved it for the most part. Yes, sure, there are some negative aspects about the internet. You know, that's just given with any bit of technology. But I thought to myself, just looking at the chart of the .com bubble that burst, it never really returned to that value, right? And 20 years on, the internet is more successful, better than it's ever been. It's provided us with things like YouTube. It's provided us with this platform to actually talk about these things, right? But yet it's never returned to that value. And this, my fear as an investor or as somebody that's, analyzing this kind of stuff is, what if this could happen to crypto, I wonder, right? Because everyone was thinking back then, oh, the internet, it's new, it's revolutionary, it's going to change the world. And it did. It absolutely did. But its value, just like it popped and then it started to grow, but it never really gained that momentum. And so there's all these analysts that are talking about that perhaps one of the things was buyers' fatigue, because everyone was buying into that concept of the internet, that there was no more money to be put into it. So then it just stagnated. And then obviously the movers and the shakers, the intelligent individuals, started to take the money out and basically robbed a great deal of people of their fortunes. And then you see this thing just drop down low to like basically losing 70-80% of its value, right?
I really like what you've said there. One thing I want to say about the .com boom is that it was tied to real world asset performance. It was tied to websites that were promising huge sales, huge value, and none of those websites performed after a couple of years of being invested in. So to me, it was the failure of the assets and the ideas that drove the .com bubble. And out of that .com bubble, we get Amazon, we get Google, we get all these sites that found a way. They were businesses. And to me, it's that approach of investing in businesses that fail just because everybody else is doing it. Now, Bitcoin doesn't have an asset it's actually connected to. It can go up and down based on people's actions, but it doesn't have an inherent asset that it is tied to. Hence, if that asset fails, the whole system fails. It doesn't have that. The system is actually so decentralized. It's you, me, and Dupree, and everyone else who are the assets. The assets are so minute that the value of it's so spread out that it would require billions of people to suddenly go, I'm selling out, for it to have a bubble to burst. So this decentralization reduces risk. Why do you decentralize your portfolio? Why do you put your money here, and there?
Like diversified.
Diversification. Diversification is actually literally decentralization, because you're splitting up things to that a certain node fails, it doesn't take down the whole connection.
Right.
Diversifying your portfolio is so you don't hold all the risk in one thing. Putting your assets in a company, during the .com bubble and all the companies that happened, because there was a multitude of companies and the whole thing crashed because everybody pulled money out of the stock exchange, and specifically in America and a couple of other European ones. But when that happens, you're putting it into these individual assets that are not decentralized. They're centralized. They're centrally controlled. And as soon as the whole, one thing goes down, all the other ones start going down, because they're tied to these real world assets. But this isn't. And that's why I think this is completely different than the .com bubble. And in this article, I'm sure people have, I'm not sure if people read it, but the person here doesn't actually understand the realities of current investing. So to me, this person doesn't actually understand investing.
Yeah.
And then doesn't see that cryptocurrency is actually unrelated. They're seeing it as investments, asset investments, but they're not assets, because they're not holding an asset behind the perceived value. Just like a real dollar, the value of it is actually based on a country.
Like the country's performance,
that's
right?
right.
Yeah.
But a coin
country's
isn't.
economy, right?
The coin isn't tied to a certain country. It's not tied to a certain company. It's tied to the people.
To the emotions.
And to the emotion, just like Dogecoin. It's an emotional investment.
It's an emotional investment.
Comparing Bitcoin to an investment, I think, is unrealistic. I don't think it works. That's my view on why. I just don't think I don't think you can compare Bitcoin to investing in companies.
Does it make more sense to compare Bitcoin to gold?
Yes, it does actually, because it's probably the closest thing, right? You're mining gold, just like you're mining Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You're utilizing that gold to achieve other things, which is what you utilize Bitcoin to do. You utilize to transfer value assets, so you can move lots of money really quickly without dealing with banks. You can also store your money on a little USB stick, and then you can transfer it via taking a photo, taking a picture without having to be in the same institution. You just have to have a wallet.
Yeah, so what's beautiful about this, it has these properties, like it's weightless, essentially.
Correct.
Like you can transport it without ever physically touching it. It's...
there's a $10,000 cash limit that you can't leave with I think you can't leave Australia with $10,000.
Correct. Yeah, it's like this global thing where there's an X amount of value you can't leave with. Yeah, money wise.
But I can transfer that money through all these exchanges, through these money sending companies.
Yeah,
they're going to cost me a buttload of money.
Yeah.
But why? Why am I having to do this? Because it's not decentralized. It's centralized into these different banks, these different companies who do these services.
Because they're like profit loopholes, essentially. If you could have like giant hordes of cash just be taken to another country,
Correct.
You could just make it'll be like the infinite money glitch.
Yeah. But right now I can give if I've got a wallet with a Bitcoin in it, it's worth $80,000. I could just give you the password in another country. You could fucking use it. You could just log in and spend it. Or I could literally transfer it to your wallet. Yes, I would pay some gas fee, which is fine because that's the service. That's what's the reoccurring, revenue on being a miner. But let's have a look at some comments. We got Yogi Bear says probably me being asleep, but the price are 300k more than they were a year ago for the same thing. So I'm guessing that's houses. I think you mentioned in earlier. Right. Michael says I can't see investing myself in crypto now because the cost to invest now is too high. I do have a comment on that.
Okay, tell us, Patrick.
At some point in time,
yeah,
when Bitcoin was $1,000, somebody would have said,
exactly just that, right?
Exactly that. And now it's nearly at 100,000. People are saying the exact same thing. When it was at 50k, at 40k, 30k, they're exactly the same thing. At some point, you're going to have to make the decision: do I buy in now, or do I not buy in at all?
Right.
I'm not promoting. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, this is not financial advice, guys.
If you don't want to buy Bitcoin, don't. That's not a thing. I do expect though, in about 5 to 10 years, we're going to be paying for things with Bitcoins. I'm going to be walking into a bar, I'll be like, what do you guys accept? Oh, Batcoin? Yeah, here you go. Cha-ching.
Do you think, will your employer be paying you in some form of crypto?
There's already sports people who get paid in Bitcoin. They asked,
you told me about, the guy made the choice. He was like, what was he, a basketball player or something?
Baseball player, I think.
Baseball player, right. The greatest decision he ever made, right?
Yeah, because he said, I want half my salary in Bitcoin. And then that half is now worth more than the other half.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we don't know what's going to happen. And we're not telling you the future, but
sure.
I'm just looking at it from a technical standpoint.
Yeah. And it is, be skeptical. It's always good to be skeptical of either side. You have to make up your own mind. Here are something like, okay, when we're comparing a Bitcoin to gold, right? Here are some things that come to my mind.
Okay.
Bitcoin is created by man, essentially, on a platform, right? Can we agree that it's man-made?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know.
Isn't it? Well, it is. I mean, it was created by someone.
It was. Yep. The blocks were created. Okay.
Right. Like a system was created.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Now gold. I guess gold exists on the planet. We don't know how much of it exists on the planet, right? Whereas Bitcoin, there's a fixed value.
Yeah. But there's a fixed value of gold, technically speaking. We just don't know it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is a fixed amount of gold. But knowing that you can create Bitcoin, does it almost devalue the fact that you can create these alternative currencies? So let's say if I have a currency that's just way more effective than Bitcoin, or maybe it's even rarer than Bitcoin, does that all of a sudden nullify Bitcoin? Does it make it irrelevant?
It's a really great question.
Yeah.
And I don't think it does, because the value is dependent on who's using what. So if all of a sudden you go, actually, this coin over here is so much better than Bitcoin, and everybody moves onto it, then yes, the other coin will potentially fail.
So that's a risk from an investor's point of view. It's
of course.
I need people to be invested in this. As long as they are, this is great for me and for all of them.
Yeah,
absolutely. For all of us. Yeah.
Absolutely. You need to be able to trust that this coin has utility. And yeah, I mean, look, Draco says here that all money and currencies are man-made, which is absolutely correct. But
I mean, apart from like gold, because that was created by planet Earth.
Yeah,
nature.
And so you need people, like, okay, people are the assets. Let's say every single one person is a person that adds value to a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If that person start using another coin, they're going to transfer their Bitcoin into that other coin, or vice versa, whatever happens, and they become invested and become part of the value of that coin.
Yeah.
But to crash something as large as Bitcoin, or crash any cryptocurrency, you need to have a lot of people move. But a lot of people don't like change. A lot of people tend to go, well, it's working for me, I'll just continue using it. Or they go into a new coin. Well, that coin's utility is actually really good for this use case. I'll just keep my gold here. I'll just move it around. The beauty of it is these coins aren't replacing Bitcoin as the exact opposite of the exact same thing as Bitcoin. They're doing other things in better ways, but not necessarily competing against Bitcoin. Like, there's so many coins, and yet some of them have a lot of value. Look at Ethereum. It has a lot of value because it solves a different problem.
Okay.
And it coexists with Bitcoin. Bitcoin holds value. Ethereum is there to navigate through the system and through other tokens and so on. You've got, I don't think people realize, but there's a difference between tokens and coins.
What's the difference?
So the token is actually what exists on the Ethereum network. It exists as a separate coin, but it's actually a token of Ethereum. It's a fork of Ethereum. So I think there's only
What does it mean where you have a fork of a crypto? What does that like? Can you kind of paint the picture?
Yeah. So imagine you've got a blockchain, and it's literally the blocks are individual nodes of people mining or mining. Let's say they're mining or utilizing the system. So being connected to the network. Yeah. Each of these is completely decentralized. So I have a copy of everything that's happening out there in the Ethereum network, and so does the next block.
Okay.
So I have and literally if I change something in my copy and it doesn't match anything else, that means it's wrong.
Oh,
so if
right.
me and you are two blockchains, and there's another block over there, and I write, actually, I own 10,000 Bitcoins, and I send it out, and I'm like, now I'm going to try and sell those Bitcoins that I just own. You go, hang on, my ledger doesn't match. What about your ledger? Nah, he doesn't have that. Bullcrap.
You like invalidate that
you invalidate that thing. Yeah.
Okay,
so you're all kind of policing each other, creating this decentralized network that no central entity contains it. So now what a token is, it literally is another thing that exists on that network, another part of the ledger.
Okay.
Because I just told you about a Bitcoin ledger, but now on that Bitcoin ledger, there's also that token. So on the Ethereum network, they use multiple tokens. I'm not explaining it. Actually, no, that's pretty close. So it's just a fork of Ethereum. So it is on the same blockchain. It's the same things, but they're just using a different coin to describe it. Because remember, blockchain isn't the coin. The blockchain is the system that controls itself, polices itself, and then what you put on that blockchain is literally the things you want to be completely controlled and decentralized. What that coin does is what the designers and the builders do.
Right, yeah, like the architects. It's like, this is the purpose of this coin.
Like right now, we could sit down and probably in about 24 hours, we could build a coin and just chuck it on the Ethereum network.
That's what kind of...
And then what we do, we go, I'm going to give myself 10,000 coins, and then you can set a value that this is the maximum value of these coins, and then you lock it into the blockchain, distributes across the blockchain, and then you can't change it anymore. There is ways to change it, but you can't do it because it would literally crash the thing. And nobody has control of it after it's released. You can update it, you can change, but you work on it. And if it's what you have to do is you have it's open source. The code is open source, so everybody knows it. And again, that's another level of policing. Because if you go, well, I know the code, and somebody's put this little thing in there that like makes them rich, I'm like, well, that's not right. It's open source, and it gets removed, right?
Can you remove a cryptocurrency?
No, because once it's on the blockchain, you can physically take it off the blockchain.
Yep.
You can literally go, it will say Casper owns 1 Bitcoin, and now I'm going to I've moved it to this wallet address, and this Bitcoin exists in this address. You can actually, if you have somebody's address, you can actually see how much they have in that pouch.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
Not really.
I mean, you could figure out who's wealthy, who's not.
Yeah, but how do you put it to a name?
So you mean you've got like an IP address?
It's like a ridiculously long address.
Oh, okay. Right. Like it's the internet address, but you don't know their physical location in the world. You don't know their identity.
Yeah, but you can check how much there is in that address, that wallet.
Okay.
And that wallet, you can there's a key code to unlock that wallet. And if you take your device or your USB stick, you know the code, you've got your wallet on this, you've got that address saved in that device, and only you know that that code. Anybody else with that code can't do anything with it. They can't do anything with that wallet, and the blockchain generates these unique codes for you, these unique wallets. So that wallet only exists once in the world. You can't recreate it, you can't have it, and that code is the only one that opens up. Pog says the problem with Ethereum is the gas prices. I think the next big thing will be something that can successfully lower transaction fees. So the next update to Ethereum 2.0, is promising to lower gas fees. So gas fees are the fees you pay to transfer.
They call them gas fees.
Call them gas fees.
Wow, how boomer.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you're right.
Paying respects.
Paying respects. So, if I want to transfer a bit of money, yes, the Ethereum network is a bit expensive. Once that gets fixed, it's a balancing thing, because the reason it's expensive is because the people mining it are getting quite a bit of money from it. And the mining part is okaying, ticking those transactions to say, where's my cut? I want my cut. Like yesterday, I was looking at transferring a Bitcoin to a wallet, and it was like $24. I was like, damn, man, that's expensive.
Whoa, that is expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Wow.
But if you think about it, I couldn't transfer that money. I mean, I could transfer that fiat money like that to another another currency and pay a fee. It's a similar thing, but in this case, that's the payment. That's it. Like there's no other financial people that make the money. It goes back into the network, the value of it, and it gets redistributed again. But these prices are getting lower and lower. I mean, Bitcoin's really expensive, but there are other currencies that are much cheaper. I think Ethereum is still a little bit cheaper than Bitcoin. But anyway,
this got me thinking, right? Because Bitcoin, perhaps it will maintain a value of some sort in the future, if not much larger, because it is like the OG coin. Like it has the nostalgia, it has that memorabilia, it has the collector's edition type thing. So maybe it won't be like used per se
as it's gonna be a store of value.
Yeah, it will be a store of value. It will be the Mona Lisa. It will just be like, look at it. It's the first ever. It's gonna be a history token. Like it's gonna be that, right? All these other coins, I feel like a good portion of them are going to get destroyed, going to get wiped. And what fascinates me is like the big corporations, when they decide to make the moves, right? Ooh. Them, but also perhaps people or companies that don't exist yet or are very small, could be the next Google, the next Apple, the next Facebook. Because looking at the history of the internet. I was watching this timeline and popularity of websites that were getting hits.
Yeah.
You know, at the top, you would have like AOL,
Yeah.
Yahoo, MSN. And you think about all of these guys, they've been bumped down by things that came into the world, like Facebook, like Amazon, like YouTube, like eBay,
Yeah.
like Google.
Yeah.
Right? So they completely knocked these guys down from the platforms, which is a possibility by a completely new player coming into the game. That's none of these corporations that are currently existing that one day will be the Google, the Apple of the world. We just got to pick who that is going to be.
Yeah. I think that's a very good like description of like the connection between the two things. I think that's really good. The thing I think these coins will come and go, but it's the tokens are the separate coins. The ones who have actually utility is the ones that are going to stick around the longest. So that's what I look for when I do a bit of, due diligence. I check for coins that are actually going to be useful. And something people miss is like, is that something you're going to use? Like why would you invest? Yeah, why would you invest in something that you're not going to use? Like if you invest in Google and you're using like DuckDuckGo, it's like it's a bit silly, isn't it? If you're investing in Tesla, okay, maybe you can't afford a Tesla, sure, but you believe in their message and you believe in their what they're trying to do. So for example, I keep talking about BAT, which is basic attention token. You've got a browser, a fast browser. Forget about the tokens. You've got a really good browser. It's built well. It accepts all the Chromium extensions, and it's faster than Chrome. It's faster than Edge, and it's more secure. It's privacy oriented, all that great stuff. A great browser. The other benefit is that they don't sell your data to advertisers. You get advertised to and paid for your attention, basic attention token. You get tokens based on ads that might be shown to you, these pop-ups. That's it. That's how you earn the BAT. The BAT has value of utility. People using the Brave browser get BAT, and the more people use it, the more BAT is worth, and so on and so forth. Now, as a creator on YouTube or something, people can flicker like a BAT thing as like a.
You know what? I need to start doing that. I still haven't got the browser.
Oh man,
I need to do it this weekend because I like the sound of that.
It's utility, and it's like, wow, okay. And the other one I was talking to you about, the merchant token. Mm-hmm. So the merchant token is connecting KYC, so making sure that the people are real, and connecting them to merchants who use things like Square Pay or like FPOS and stuff, connecting them and putting the connection and authority so you can transfer assets being completely compliant and controlled and so on. You gave me the idea to look out for this coin. It's an ICO, whatever. It's an IPO type thing. Yeah. So like you want to look when you look at these things, I just imagine, would I ever use it? Right. Bitcoin to me is like the central storage of value.
It's like you buying gold.
Yeah. It's just there, and it might earn a bit of interest, which is just the increase in value. Sure. The increase in value is interest, which is something that it says here, Bitcoin interest is not the same as bank interest. No, it's not, because it's not a bloody bank.
Right, it's different. Yeah. I mean, there are kind of ways of making it like that. I mean, and there will be ways of making it like that because, okay, so your bank invests in other companies, which then it gives you, a little kickback, interest, whatever. Yeah. And there'll be ways to store your Bitcoin with certain corporations, I guess, who will say, hey, we'll get 5% return on your Bitcoin per annum if you hold with us. And then they obviously do exactly what banks do.
Yeah, they give you a security. They'll be like, look, we'll charge you 5% of the value that it goes up by, and then we'll only take away they might do like a 2% loss or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. And then they'll be like, but we'll insure it for X amount of dollars, based on the price at the time.
Right, yeah.
And that's what banks are going to do. You will see that. Right now, everybody's like, no. But they're already planning it. Banks have squads of people that are given an open checkbook to go find the next big thing. And they've already found that, they've already built it. They're going to release it as soon as it goes public. It's going to happen. And you're going to have these securities, these wallet exchanges that are going to be like, yeah, we're going to insure your company. Yeah, we take a cut, whatever, all good. But we're going to insure it, and you're going to have the safety of blah, blah, blah. And it's completely accessible by you through this little app, Yeah. I've got a wallet app on my phone, and
yeah.
Yeah, I have to check something because I put it in the wrong Ethereum wallet and I just got an email from them.
Oops.
Yeah, it's this thing. Like, it's all new. It's all exciting. People are really keen to get into it, but there's some utility to some of these coins. One thing I was thinking about, so, Australia, we've got a lot of sun, especially Western Australia. And why shouldn't I get paid in like a power coin or like a electricity coin based on the amount of power that I put back onto the grid, right? And then people can buy the token and then use it instead of paying dollars. They can use it on their account. Like, that's a great idea. It means that the power companies don't have to deal with monetary exchange. They just use the crypto currency. You've got an account, you've got a wallet, blah blah blah. It's connected to your power account, whatever you might be using. And you know what? If I leave this provider, I can go to another provider and I can still have my tokens because they're also on the same crypto network. Like, at the end of the day, those companies will have to differentiate themselves on something more than just price, or it'll have to be a service, and hopefully it'll generate business, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these things that it could simplify. It's a simplification of financial institutions. We're really long overdue for that. We've got a lot of people. Globalization is a thing. Countries are connected to other countries. We need a way to transfer assets between countries much better, quicker, more efficiently, safer for you and me and any other person involved. Because, if I have a USB sitting in the house, with all my Bitcoin, you can't rob a bank and steal all that. You can't, it's just not possible. And if you've got a wallet on your phone, like,
well, what do you mean by you can't rob a bank? Because it's decentralized.
Yeah, that's right. Like,
but doesn't it make it, I guess, riskier?
Well, no,
for you
because you can also
holder?
just remember the code in your head. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't.
But what if it gets stolen? Like, somebody can break into your house.
Yeah, but they still can't use it without the code.
But then the whole thing is that you've lost it. Whereas if it's in a bank, at least you have security,
right. So if you've got a wallet, and all the wallet contains is your hash ID. Right. So if you have that somewhere, like, you could literally just go write it down on a piece of paper, and there it is.
So you're saying if I lose that, I can still retain it in other ways?
If you remember the password code.
Okay.
Because it's the hash numbers are really long. So you've got two things. You've got the hash number of the wallet address, which is on the blockchain. It's always on the blockchain.
Okay.
What the device is doing what the device is doing is just saving that on the device that you just have to, like, put your PIN code and make it easier. But there's all these words that you use. It's like this sentence that you have to remember.
Okay.
And that unlocks it.
Yeah.
So you could just
passcode.
Yeah. So there's different ways of doing it. But I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, I like some of these ideas that are coming out. No, the whole world is rigged except Bitcoin. Yeah.
I like the fact that he says crypto BTC. BTC is secured by math, not emotion. That's a fair call. It's
Wait
science.
a minute. It's secured by math, not emotion. I feel the value of BTC is held by emotion. But
yes,
I suppose,
sure.
Obviously, the BTC's, I guess,
Pog
strength
says,
is math.
Reduce your electricity bill now by switching to the new Pat coin.
The Pat coin, yeah.
You know what? I'm waiting for the first YouTuber to make their own coin. I can't wait.
Wow.
Somebody's going to do it.
Yeah.
And Tesla just released their stocks on Coinbase?
What?
You can buy a Tesla coin. One Tesla coin is 1/100th of a real Tesla share.
Can you buy this coin anywhere else? Or is that only Coinbase?
Oh, I'm sure it'll go on other exchanges, but the first partnership is with Coinbase.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine companies not having to go onto the ASX to get money.
Yeah.
To, like, fund themselves. They just go, we're doing an ICO. This is what the company does. Here it is. They chuck all the coin out, and it's protected by the blockchain. If the company goes under, then the coin goes under, but whatever's still doing well. This is probably the scariest thing for people who, like, trade on, like, the stock market, because it's literally decentralized stock exchange. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
Oh, Binance,
right?
sorry, Pog. Thank you, Pog.
Binance, yeah. See, this changes the relationship of investing as a whole, right? Because, like, as an investor's perspective is like, when I'm buying into a company, I'm buying, into people that are working there, people and their ideas, their concepts. They're creating a product. They're literally changing the world around me, right? Like, let's say if I buy into Apple stocks, they're creating these products that I love. They're creating stores in my city and all over the world, and they're creating new products and they're innovating. And I guess Bitcoin is a different, like just crypto in general, it's like a different concept as a whole, and maybe that scares a lot of investors because it's this whole the shift of hive mentality. Yeah. Because as an investor, if you saw like a coin does something, like you'll invest regardless of the price if it does something incredible. But if it's solely weighing in on people's emotions to jump from one coin to another,
Dogecoin.
Yeah, Dogecoin. Then the investors think, well, no, I'd prefer to actually invest in something that, it's gonna like contribute to society, as opposed to a popularity contest.
Yeah, I get that. And then I suppose for me, it's like, well, if a company wants to go on the blockchain and sell their shares on the blockchain, I don't see it. They're just backing it up with a real asset. So you can still support a company if they go on the blockchain as an investor. But you're right. If there's no reality behind a coin and no usefulness for it, why does it exist? Well, it's emotion, but there's a limited amount of emotion. Like you can't just love 1,000 different coins and put exactly the same amount of money in each, because sometimes it's just the rule of thumb. The top 10%, the top 1% will end up being the popular ones.
The coins to use in the world.
Yeah, and that's what will happen. But I expect new coins to be added daily, and I expect this show to end. So,
yes,
we've been going for an hour and 35 minutes almost. Friends, thank you very much for joining us. Happy Friday. Hope you enjoy your weekend. It's the end of the week.
End of the week.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, we are
science. Yes. Wow.
Where can we find you, Casper?
You can find me Game with Casper. That is my YouTube.
Make sure to like this video because that really helps. I can't stress it enough. It's like the one trick you can fool Google with.
Yeah.
Like a video.
The like.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you all again next week. Same time. Maybe same room. Yeah, same room.
Probably same room. Yeah. Same lighting. Same people.
Lighting, same people?
Probably same
Would
people.
you be different people? How long does it take for your cells to regenerate?
Yeah, I think like all the cells like every 3 months or so.
So it's same people for the next 3 months?
Next 3 months,
From here on in. But then like if you go 3 months back, that was be 2 different people.
Different cells.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait, is it public holiday next week?
It is. 3-day weekend. Boom. Anzac Day.
Anzac Day.
Paying respects to those people who went out and fought for our countries, I guess, right?
Yep, and now we're going to end this recording. Yes. Thanks, guys. Catch you all later.
Goodbye, lovely people.
See you all next week.
See you next week. Bye.